Hey guys, Randomosity here, and today I'm going to be making a handle for this garden digger. Hope you enjoy the video. Here's the things we're going to be using today for making this handle. A pencil. We're going to have an assortment of sandpapers and a handsaw to cut the piece of wood for the handle, a draw knife. This is very important. This is going to shape our handle, and also a hammer to set the head on the handle. And I have this big knife I'm going to be using for shaping the end of the handle for sizing it for the head. So let's go get the piece of wood for the handle and get right to it. So I'm out here in the woods, and I just found a dead maple here that we can cut a chunk off and use for the handle. Now we don't need anything precise, so we're going to just roughly cut this at about 15 inches. And that is what we'll take back and cut down for the handle. There you go. So I tacked myself some scrap wood together here, threw on a little bumper board, and that is so I can just put this right up against it when I'm shaping it with the draw knife. So first thing we're going to do is we'll take the head of the claw digger and take our pencil, and we'll just kind of put some marks right on the end of this. We'll mark it right in here. That way we kind of know what size we're going to need it to. Now, these marks here are just the size of that. We want it a little bit bigger so we can have plenty of room to get it nice and snug. So I'm going to just mark about a 1/8 inch extra all the way around. That'll give us plenty of room to work with it. And you want to try and get it right on the heart of the piece of wood so you get the best wood there. Now, this is maple. You don't need to use maple, but hardwood definitely is preferred because it's strongest. And I was lucky to find a dead maple out there. Now, it doesn't matter. You can use one that's green. It'd be easier with it dead because it won't shrink as much, because with a green, when it shrinks, then your handle could get loose and fall out. So I'm going to just start shaping this and probably speed up a little bit here and see what we can get done. Now preferably you'd have something here to hold it so it wouldn't pop up. But I don't have anything at the right here, so So I just went and got a piece of paracord and tied it right to the end here, and that should keep the log from popping up like it was and make it a bunch easier, hopefully. I'm just going to tighten it up a little. There. Now I'll probably speed up through this, cut some of it out, because this will take a while. But I'll just work this right down. Now, you don't have to have a draw knife, but this is definitely, you know, the way to do it if you are able to have one. Okay, we got that side squared off to the line, so now we're going to move to the next side here. Just work it down nice and fast, just pull big shards off here. Now here's another thing, when you're picking your piece of wood you're going to use, you want to look for a piece of wood that doesn't have a whole bunch of limbs on it, because that's going to break down the strength of it. You want something nice and straight grained, which I was able to find a pretty nice piece here. There's no limbs in the area that I got. The grain is fairly straight. Very good. So I'm continuing to just work it right down to the lines on the end at first. This is just a rough cut. We're gonna, once we get it squared off at the end here to the lines, we will shave down the handle the way we want it. So you can see I got the end roughed out here, and I'm going to turn it around and start shaping the handle. Now this string I'm using, since I've gotten this end smaller now, I have to tighten it up, and so it doesn't pop up. Now, I have a little bent here, so I'm going to turn it this way, try and take some of that out. And we'll just start rounding her right off here, leaving about 3 inches that's square, so we can work with it to fit the head. So I'm going to just peel this down, and I'll get back to you when I'm ready to do the finishing touches. So I pretty much got the handle roughed out now, and we're ready to finish it off. I'm going to start by scraping it with my knife blade, which will take some of these rough burrs off that were left from the draw knifing. So you just take it and scrape it like this. You want to go with the angle of the burrs So if the bird's pointing towards you, go with it, and that'll make it smooth and better. Now as you can see, there's a crack here, and that's because this piece of wood was not totally dry when we started using it. And I set it in my car for a couple days and it dried out and cracked. It's not gonna bother the strength of it. So if you have a piece of wood that you're making a handle out of and it cracks like this, it's no big deal. Okay, so we got the main of these little burrs off, and we'll take, I have this sandpaper here which is like for pipes, for cleaning like copper pipes. Anyway, I like it a lot for doing this because you can just wrap right around it, you know, and then you just spin it. We'll just speed her up right here. So we just finished working the head, the end of the handle to fit the head on, which you missed because my camera filled up with space and couldn't fit anymore. But I just did that using this big knife, which you can use a hatchet or the draw knife, but it's easier with one hatchet or this thing because you can just chop it like this. And I cleaned it down to the base size of this, so it'll slip in here now. And I put a slit in the top to hold the wedge, and now we got a wedge here, and I'm gonna show you how that works. And if you don't have a conventional metal wedge, you'll want to use a hardwood wedge, which, like I have here, I have a shard of maple I'm using. And as you can see right there, it's tightened it right up on both of these sides. Now I'll break these off and just wedge them right in the sides here. So we'll just take the hammer and tap those like that. Then I'll whittle a bit off of this because it's hair too thick. Now you can just shove that little piece right in the side and just pound it right in like that. If it breaks like that, it's no big deal. You know, you've gotten a bit in there. That's all you need. I'm gonna finish putting in this wedge and I'll show you the finished product. I just quickly cut off the excess wood here, and of course you want to do that carefully so you don't nick your saw on the metal and dull it. That's great. So just finished the handle here, and as you can see, it works just as good as ever. And the total time it took was about 2 hours. And to preserve the handle better, you can use boiled linseed oil and rub it in. So if you've enjoyed this video, you can like and comment and subscribe, and your comments are always welcome. And until next time, keep rolling with the random.
What?